What's going on, guys? It's Prazzy here, and today we're going to be talking about career growth, promotions, and how to get to that next level, next step of your career overall, and how you can one day become a leader through different frameworks and strategies that we're going to be discussing today. So let's get right into it. So one of the most important things in career growth and really rising through the ranks is trust. Now, it might sound cliche, it might sound very vague and ambiguous, but trust is an incredibly important part. And actually, one concept that I really like that I heard from Amit Phule, who's a vice president of product at Microsoft, is this concept of the 5 levels of trust. And it talks about the 5 levels of trust in a theoretical and a conceptual way that someone is expected to have to reach that level. So the first level of trust is, can you be trusted to complete a task? Now, this is typically what you think about like a new grad or someone who's just started off early in their career or their first job. They're given tasks, they're given items, they're given action items, they're given things to do. And that's the first level of trust, right? Hey, can you complete this task X? And how well can you complete it? Can you complete it on time? Can you complete it good? Can you complete it effectively? These are the things that are being evaluated at that first level. If you're a software engineer, can you write good code? If you're a marketer, can you write good copy? And can you work on good campaigns and make them, neat and clean? These are the things that are expected of you at that first level conceptually. Now, the second level of this trust hierarchy, when we think about career growth and potentially becoming a leader, is, can you solve a problem? Can you be trusted to solve a problem? And it sounds similar to being able to complete a task, but it's a little different. Rather than just doing something, we want to know if you can solve problems at a high level. Rather than just, hey, go do this Excel model. It's more about, hey, can you think about how we can increase earnings over the next 5 years? And that's more of a problem. Or, hey, can you think about how we can make our system faster by 20%? It's more of a problem versus a task. Now, out of problems come tasks, but being able to solve problems, being able to think of effective solutions that are on time, on budget, that are fast, that work well, these are important things at that second level of, can you solve problems? Now, at a third level of this trust hierarchy is, can you solve problems by partnering well with others? And as you grow in your career, as you rise through the ranks, it becomes more and more important for you to play well with others. It's really important that you're able to work well with other customers, other teams in the business, clients, other business units, other teams. All of these things become very, very important. And the reason that it's important is because this is how effectively things get done when you put different groups of people together trying to achieve some type of common milestone. And someone may have strength in this and someone may have strength in that. Pairing up and working together to solve the problems effectively really is how, at a scale, anything, important or anything large is done. And so that is incredibly important at that third level in a way where you're able to solve problems while working with large groups of people. And hey, it's not easy. It's actually much harder than it sounds because people always have competing interests. People have different incentives. People have different ways of working and operating. Politics and all of these things get involved on how you work with the social structures and interpersonal dynamics of social situations within a company and organization. All of this becomes super important. And people tell you to get good at politics and things of that nature. And it's really not about kind of being power hungry or just trying to, go on this sage of acquiring power. It's more about, can you work really effectively with people? Hey, if some guy's a jerk, are you able to handle with that situation well and still solve the problem? If someone is, if a customer is not paying on time, can you still work with that customer and be able to solve through that and still deliver a great experience for them? So all of these different factors at a high level come to play at this third level, which is solving problems while partnering well with others. So that's number 3. The next one at the fourth level of this conceptual hierarchy of trust is, figuring out the right problems to solve. And this becomes incredibly important the higher and higher up you go in a business, in a career ladder, in an organization. You want to be working on things that are impactful. You want to be working on things that are important and bring value to an organization and that are aligned with an organization's mission and vision and plans for the next 2 to 3 years. So being able to identify the right problems to solve, the problems that really move the needle for a business or an organization or for your team, that becomes super critical as you climb up. And then the fifth ladder or the fifth step in this hierarchy of trust is, can you be trusted to inspire others to solve right problems, right? And at the top, that's really what it's all about. It's all about inspiring the people all around you, the teams that work for you, the people that work with you, to really come together, solve the right problems, achieve and complete these different tasks and move the business forward in a positive direction. And at the top, it's really important that you're able to, be trusted to inspire a team, be trusted to inspire your partners, your customers, your vendors, your stakeholders. All of these different things becomes incredibly important. And that is the 5 levels of trust. Shout out to Amit Fule, Vice President of Product, for this really great framework. So that covers the trust aspect, which is really important for career growth and how you can be trusted throughout different levels and what you're expected to be trusted of. Number 2 on how to achieve career growth is making people look good. And this is to some degree common knowledge, that your job is to make your boss look good. But I would argue it's even more than that. It's to make your boss's boss look good. It's to make your boss's boss's boss look good, right? As far up as you can go. Because the further you go up, the further it becomes high level, strategic. And that's where the impact really comes in, because the people who are in these positions of leadership and different positions within a hierarchy of an organization have figured out what's going to move the needle for our business, what's really important to us, for our customers, for our partners, for us as a business. And if you can make their life easier, if you can make them look good by solving the most important problems that they have, you're already set up for success and you're already working on the most important things for the business, and you're making your manager and your manager's manager look good. And when it comes time for promotion reviews or performance reviews, or when you have discussions around these things, they're gonna keep that very well into account, that, hey, this guy has or really helped solve some of the most important things on my plate. And so that becomes super important. And that really brings me into my third point overall, which is aligning yourself with the company's goals and solving and working on the right things. Right? You want to be working on the things that matter. If you're in an organization or if you're on a team that's, really not as impactful, I would really urge you to have that honest conversation with yourself and really think about it, right? Ultimately, a lot of companies and a lot of teams within an organization, within a company, are working on various different things, but there's always the case that certain things are much more important to a company in the short and medium term. And some things may just not be important in the short or medium term or even the long term, and they could just be a bet, or it could be something like that. So you want to have that strong balance where you're able to realize, is the work, is the team, is the goals that I've been assigned, are they valuable overall to the company's goals and the vision? So that is that. Number 4 is being likable and strong at human cooperation, right? And at the end of the day, people want to work with people that they like, right? If you're someone who's liked, if people, can confide in you and can trust you, and you're someone who they look up to, and you can inspire them, you've already kind of achieved, to my previous point, that level of trust within people to inspire them to work well with them. So if you're likable, I'd say that's a huge advantage and a huge plus. Now, hey, I'm not saying that you can't climb through the ladders without being likable. I mean, there's plenty of managers and even people at the top who can be quote unquote jerks or asses. But definitely, if you're likable, if more people on your side than not, then that gives you a huge advantage and a huge leg up in terms of climbing through the career ladder. And the fifth and one of the most important things is to be able to market yourself, talk about your accomplishments, toot your own horn a little bit. If you're not able to brag about what you've done, the value that you've provided, and the impact that you've had, then, why would someone want to promote you, or why would someone want to make you a leader? It just wouldn't make sense, right? You would have to be someone who not only does great work, but you have to be able to talk about it. You have to be able to showcase your work. You have to be able to market and advertise yourself within your organization and business unit or team or company, and really be perceived as this person who is done some really incredible things. And for that, it involves showing off to some extent a little bit. It involves talking about your accomplishments and the value that you've brought. All of these things are super important. And, in my personal life, I've seen this happen so many times. There'll be two types of people, right? One who is a really talented employee, one who is able to execute really, really well, able to get the job done, but just isn't good at talking about their accomplishments, isn't good at marketing themselves in the company, and really, making it known how important the things that they have and how important the things that they've done are. And the other person who is, maybe very mediocre or average at execution, but really good at, adding sizzle to the pot, stirring the pot, and really making it evident and clear that, they've done something remarkable and they've really done some great stuff, and the value and the impact of the things that they've accomplished are. And the person who talks about their value and the person who's able to market themselves will almost always see a faster career growth than someone who just is not able to do that well. So ideally, you want to be able to strike that balance. Now, I'm not saying be a bad executor. I'm saying be a great executor, become really great at your job, but don't shy away from talking about yourself and sharing the value that you bring. So guys, that has been the kind of 5 different frameworks and strategies on how I think about rising through the career ladder and growth. Comment down below some other things that you've heard, some things that you have observed, and thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.